Hey guys, Matt here. Now I know I didn't upload yesterday. No big deal. Today was supposed to be double. Now they're going to work. Whatever. It's this whole ordeal. But so today we're gonna go over Ghost and everything that the Ghost type has to offer. So we're gonna start off and we're just gonna jump right into this. So Ghost has a lot of interesting options. So Ghost has its own zone, and with the latest release of Lily, I figured, hey, we might not get another Ghost Pair for a little bit, so might as well just go over this, right? Palisand is the first free-to-play Ghost Pair you get, I think. I know you're a BP though. Yeah, Palisand is the first free Ghost Pair you get, so let's just start with that, right? So they're a tech, which is very interesting. Do they have an EX? No, they don't. With an EX, this would actually be kind of funny. So they have Astonish. You all know how I feel about Astonish and general flinching moves. X defense. So you can raise your defense up to +4. Sandstorm. And over here, so you take aggro and gradual healing. So you can use this pair for redirection stuff. If you have someone who's a tank but they can't take too many hits, okay, come here, boy. Then Never-Ending Royal Nightmare. The more you use defense is raised, the greater the power of this move. So you can raise your defense up to +4, or if you get an NPR, which is here. No, I lied. Here, there. You can get +6, but then this is stronger, which this is actually surprisingly viable, actually. But then for the skills, it's just Sand Fortress, so your stats can't be lower to win Sandstorm, so you're impervious, which isn't bad. I wish you had a little more, but it's not bad. So, so obviously a 3-star tech, a 5-star tech candy isn't worth using on this pair. So we're just gonna go over 1 and 2. Then if you were to do it, what 3 would look like. So 1 out of 5 is mostly all you need. You have Astonish Aggravation and you have Soothing Sand. That's a lot as is. But then you get over here NPR if you need to retarget, or if the fight's long enough, reapply gradual healing. So that's fine. Sandstorm NPR, that's another big one, because Sand doesn't always last the entire fight, but although when we're in this speed blitzing meta or whatnot, it's not as bad, but because she's an older pair, doesn't have as much, she doesn't provide as much to the table, that's fine. Sandstorm Flagbearer, if you have a Sand setter, or a Sand user who doesn't max out their attack, she can do that. But you need to burn both your Sandstorms for it, and that's why I think NPR with Sandstorm isn't a bad idea if you need the Flagbearer, so you can get the attack off immediately. 2 out of 5, if you play the game long enough, you have her 2 out of 5. If you started at a certain point in the game, you have her 2 out of 5. So Toughen Up, she can get that extra defense when getting hit. So this Surging Sand 5. This pair with Harry 5 is actually pretty funny. Like with Ghost Zone, you're not doing bad damage. And Tough Cookie as well, although these are all on opposite sides, so it's going to be very hard, but whatever. Focus Group, you can top off crit rate with your Sandstorm as well, but it's a chance. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of this. Sand Shelter with Soothing Sand and your HP regen, so you get 2 HP regen ticks without taking the sand damage. So she has some sort of sustainability. The only thing she really needs is special defense, which that's 3 out of 5 with Tighten Up. Harry 5, Surging Sand 5, and Tough Cookie. That's actually very funny. I know people call Acerola Godsorola because they just do stupid stuff with Astonish on Ghost Week stuff, but then to sync. I wish I had an EX actually, because this would actually be surprisingly viable with the Ghost Zone and everything. Backfire, when you die, the enemy loses attacks. It's fine. Would I run it? No, there's way better stuff on here. But yeah, Acerola overall isn't that bad. I wish she had an EX, so you could sync nuke with her. With defense, if you have Ghost Zone, you do that. And Astonish damage is surprisingly funny. You just need someone to max out her, or at least get some of her offenses. It's surprisingly funny. I know people give her CS2 specifically for this reason, and personally, I think it's hilarious. One day I might try it, who knows. So, other free pair, we have Morty, right? You get this through the 4-star BP tickets, which if you're doing the daily, I forget what it's called, but the region dailies, you do that every day, you do CS, you will eventually get Morty. You get 1, you use candies for the rest, right? Support pair, Master Healer, that's very good. Astonish, once again, that's something that you'll see a lot with Ghost. They have a lot of flinch stuff. Flinch and special, it's rarely physical, unless if your names include Morty, Cynthia. Like, I think that's it. And obviously, Astonish is physical, but we don't really count that. Potion, this pairs very well with Master Healer. Confuse Ray, so you can enable stuff like Absol for stop hitting yourself. You can enable Mimikyu, so that's not bad. Raises defense, special defense of all allies by 2 stat ranks, so you can use this to top off or make yourself tank. Not bad. 300 BP, no additional effect. So Sync is kind of whatever. You have Sync Cure, that'd be why you use it. Synchro Healing. Synchro Healing is pretty good, honestly. If this pair had, once again, if this pair had an EX, I think Synchro Healing would be the way to go for this. You get Healthy Healing, so you get HP Regen, you get First Aid, you get Synchro Healing. This pair has a lot of healing to it. And obviously, no Potion. Oh, no, there is a Master Healer. Yeah, so it's only 1 Master Healer because you have another one built in. So that's great. Astonish activations all the way down here. You just get Confused Ray MGRs, which is fine. And yeah, your defenses can be lowered. You can remove status conditions. You can top off your special defense, but granted, it's a very low chance, so I wouldn't worry about it personally. This pair is a very good healer. Pretty decent tank, honestly. Like, your stats at 5-star. 200s are alright. 583s alright, but this pair does a decent amount of healing, so I think it's worth it. Would I get this one first? No, that's another conversation for another day, but this pair is one of the better ones to get early on. I'll say that. Right? So, you have a designated tank for Ghost. Now, let's go over Ghost's greatest asset at the moment, Zone. So Master Fair Cynthia, don't know if she's going to come back, but her brand was here for a full 2 months. If you didn't get her, that's on you. We knew Dialga was going to come back because Farrah's come back. Master Fairs we didn't know. If you prioritize Dialga over Giratina, that's on you. That's all I got to say about that. Tech, so you get the Tech EX. Sinnoh Flagbearer, so this is in Pride or Spirit, which is fine. Sinnoh needs needs a little bit more, but this is definitely a step in the right direction. Sundering, 100% chance of lowering defense, special defense, or both when you use a move, so that's good. Charge move gauge by 2 when it uses Shadow Force. So your own move gauge battery, because Shadow Force is, as you'll see here, I think the word's MP I'm looking for, but yeah, it's an MP move. So when you're low on MP, you just get 2 move gauge back, which that's pretty good. Super Shadow, super effective next when you take on a Shadow Presence. So what they were doing here, because Shadow Force takes 2 turns to attack, very similar to how Solar Beam works, Sword Blade, counter moves, whatnot. What they were trying to do with this is that they're trying to make this 240 BP move hit as hard as possible. You have the 50% from Ghost Zone. Then you have the super effective up from this. They want that to hit as hard as possible, along with you lowering physical defense with Sundering. Did it work? I think it did. It takes a little bit more skill to use, so it's like, okay, the mill's going to kill this. They're going to attack this next, so I need to prepare to attack this. Something like that. You have super duper effective too, which is pretty good, right? So yeah, Shadow Force strong, but it's a 2-turn move, so it is what it is. Shadow Ball, so you can lower special defense by 2 in 1 shot if you're lucky. Ghost Wish becomes Ghost Zone. A 50% bonus to ghost damage when the zone's up, so it's just like a weather terrain. You guys know how zones work at this point. Show me your secrets. Attack and special attack by 4 stat ranks. Maxes crit rate, lowers defense and special defense by 1 stat rank. That's whatever, because she makes herself invisible anyway. But you just need someone to top off her attack, or you could go for Pep Talk. So you can top off allies' attack with the Go Zone, but that's whatever. You need to burn them immediately for that, which I'm not the biggest fan of that. Then Renegade Shadow Force, so moves power increases when Zone is Ghost, and you also get Smarty Pants and Brain Sync. So more special defense is lowered, the higher your sync damage is, and Brain Sync, if if your special attack is +1, you get a 50% bonus. This ends up being X2 total, but stat drop syncs are harder to get, especially when you're focusing and whatnot. Focusing isn't the right word. When you're trying to blitz, sorry. So yeah, it hits really hard with EX, but this is harder to get. Like, you can hit the cap with really no problem. So you can get, so grid-wise, 1 out of 5. If you just got her, she's mostly fine, right? Shout force power, all that scales, shell balls, whatever, stat nodes, fine and dandy, right? 2 out of 5, you get Ghost Swish MGRs, all right. Shell ball super duper effective, which you can get that X3 total, or +3, sorry. That's all right. It's 100 something base power, like almost 120, 5 out of 5. So, but whatever. Super duper effective. This is the big one I would pick up for Shadow Force, because that would scale very nicely. Invigorating Shadow, so you get 3 move gauge instead of 2. That is whatever, personally. Sync stat, reboot, I wouldn't get it. I don't bother with the reboots. Then 5 out of 5, you get access to the rest of your nuke. Because 2 out of 5, you don't get Brain Sync or Smart Pants. So 3 out of 5 is where you get access to your nuke. Sync quickening, when you sync, you get a Shadow Force back. So that's fine if you want that. You get Brain Sync, Smart Pants, Morale Boost, and Pep Talk if you want to max out a stat. Shadow Ball on a roll too. So you have an additional, so you have 40% chance to lower that, but then you have Sundering, so your chances are looking better. So you can use it as a debuffer, zone setter, and just a tank because you become invisible. Giratina is a viable tank despite lowering her own defenses because of Shadow Force. You can just disappear off the face of the earth. Overall, Zone is just super good. If she ever comes back, pick it up. Ghost Zone is super good. Hopefully obvious. While we're here, other Master Fair, like the highest Ghost single target DPS has to go to Lunala. Especially with Zone. She aged the best of the second Annie pairs. All because N, his damage fell off a little bit, not much. But it's really the fact that people realize, oh, this sync's not the easiest to set up. Blue, other than he's a great debuffer, and he provides good buffs for your team, but otherwise his damage fell off a little bit, but he still does good enough AoE damage where it's like, he's fine. Lunala is the best because Zone came out right after, and I forgot who the last one was, so they probably were not important. That's not what I want to click on. So, Strike, so your stake becomes AoE. That is perfectly fine. Oh, Flag Bearer. So, oh yeah, and the Crossbow came out soon after this as well. So you have a Lola Spirit with Flag Bearer. That's hilarious. You have healthy benefits, so you take reduced damage when from full HP, which this was a reference to Lunala's passive, or sorry, hidden ability. I think it was Marvel Scale. I know it has this very similar effect. Super Prep 4. So you give yourself super effective up, and Rejuvenate, when you sync, you get move gauge back. You have Moongeist Beam, almost 200 base power. You ignore passive skills that would reduce the damage of this attack. So this includes stuff like Azelf, Cobalian's passive. Ignore passive that would prevent a critical hit. So you ignore Endure and Vigilance as well. That's like super strong. And in Reshiram and in Zekrom have a very similar thing, Piercing Blows, where it also does affect the sync move, so it is whatever. Potion, that is to pair with this, so you could be a tank healer type thing, so you can run Giratina, Necrozma, and Lunala and do surprisingly well. Moonblast, if you want to use it as a fairy DPS, sure. If you have nothing else, because fairy doesn't have much for a general pool. Like, sure, fine. Plus 6 special attack, plus 3 crit. You set yourself up immediately. So you don't need help from anyone else. You just set up and run. That's fine. Grid, 1 out of 5. You get Dauntless. Sure, fine. It can be useful for some stages. 2 out of 5. This is what I have. Healthy power up. Don't get this. Waste of time. Double down 2. This is alright. Whatever. Soften up. It's fine. Whatever. I won't think too much about it. Moonblast on a roll. If you're specifically going for special attack down stuff, that's fine. Potion Master Healer, if you're going the more bulky build, that's fine. I personally got Quick Tempo because the team I wanted to try needed move gauge, so I got Quick Tempo. Otherwise, 2 out of 5 is alright. Then max out, you get access to Brain Sync. So you have 2 things for sync nuking. It's 50% with Gozone, that's X2. So sync nuke wise, she's fine. Not the greatest, but she's fine. Propulsion 1, you know my opinion on Propulsion. It's a fine ability. Is it worth getting on the grid? I don't think so. Power Flux, unless if you have access to free moves, don't get Power Flux. Please don't. It's something regardless, but CS it does nothing for you. Don't get Power Flux. You're better off just getting move powers or sync nuke stuff. That's it. Not worth it. Lunao is the strongest single target ghost DPS in the game. Because Giratina, despite how hard she hits, you have to split that number in 2 because it's a 2-turn setup. Right, so like the rest of these are mostly only mediocre, right? Lily I went over. I'm not gonna go over too much. If you want to see me go over Lily, check out the video I say on my channel on the April pairs. Like I went over Lily pretty in depth. This is only okay. Like just go this very quickly. You have Tech, Burn Synergy, Go Viral. Wide Awake is useless here. But yeah, so Burn Synergy with Go Viral. You have Will-O-Wisp, obviously. You become Mega. So your Shadow Claw becomes Shadow Sneak. Which is alright. Like, you get more base power, but you get access to a quick move. Direct Punch, max out your own crit rate. You raise your attack and defense by 2 stages. Actually by 1. That doesn't change. Your stats are fine. I wish your attack was a little higher. 192 base power. Become Mega Minute. Power increases target's burn, so that's 50, I believe. Goes to Max X2. You also get Scorching, Sync, and Pecking Order. So that's okay. Team NPR. Will-O-Wisp stuff for guaranteed hit. And Shadow Sneak Overwhelm, so you can lower attack. So that's where you get Pecking Order from. Power Reserves, you really won't use that personally. Like, he's only okay. He's only alright. Tech does make this stronger, yeah. But not many people enable Burn for him. Besides himself, yes, he does it for himself, but he needs help with attack. He needs help with attack, because he doesn't raise his own crit rate, I think. Yeah, I don't think he raises his own crit rate. If I said crit rate, that is my mistake. Attack defense by 2, raise accuracy by 1. Yeah, so you need to max out his crit rate. No, I'm an idiot. Dire hit. Bro, I'm everywhere right now. Holy shit. You get some damage reduction. Head Start 1 is alright. Vigilance, you're not using him as a tank, so it's whatever. Sync regen, you give everyone HP regen. So he has a little bit of sustainability, but is it tank worthy? No. Like, he tries to make something work that just doesn't work very well. Duskin War OG, max out everyone's crit rate, right? That's fine. Double Edge, this is the biggest demerit. You can max everyone's attack if your HP is low enough, and move gauge battery, that's fine. Sync doesn't do much. Shadow Punch doesn't do much. Pass it on, useless. Vigilance, fine. Support EX, you get some damage from Sync, which is Power Reserves, On the Ropes, Steadfast, Team Toughen Up, so defenses. You can raise your defense via Shadow Punch, so you're a decent physical wall, right? Because you have decent HP, decent defenses. But just most Ghost pairs didn't exactly age the greatest. Like Mimikyu, very similar to Giratina, has Phantom Force instead of Shadow Force. Target is confused. You can lower, I think it's, yeah. So you can lower attack via Shadow Claw when they're confused, and the grid you get stop hitting yourself, so you can enable some solo duo stuff. Fuzzy Strike, sync moves when target is confused, so you can really buff up your sync move. Confusion Synergy is alright. Phantom Force kind of decently hard with it. right? Boiling point. When you enter a pinch, max out your attack. So in disguise, you raise your attack, crit by 1. When in busted form, you raise your defenses. So you really want to use these as soon as possible. You just need to top those off. Power Flux 5. This would be alright with Shadow Sneak, I think. It'd be fine. Phantom Force as well, actually. Yeah, I think Power Flux actually will work well with Phantom Force. But yeah, I think you're getting the point that I'm getting at. Ghosts, for the most part, they're limited and unlimited are mostly underwhelming. It only recently started getting better. Now let's get into ghost pairs that are actually decent, right? Like the last two. Morty is a sync nuke through and through. Last word, I think this is funny because you could still have him die and just crit everyone. Benefactor is whatever. Speed is nice. Shadow Ball, special defense is whatever. Phantom Force, so you can use him as a tank. Pierce the Veil, raise attack by 2. Use attack by 4 when inflicted by status condition. You're not doing that, so unrealistic. Use special attack and evasion by 1. Once again, also status condition, So you can max out your own crit, that's fine. You can get your attack up to +4. And you can get your evasion up to +4. 300 BP sync. You get Blind Spot. And Demoralize is alright, but Blind Spot with Ghost Zone hits pretty hard with 300 BP. Power Fox is alright. Right? Mad Strength, Shifty Striker. So you can actually max out your own evasion, but I prefer to have someone else top it off for just an immediate sync nuke. Shadow Ball, you're not getting much out of, so whatever, you really focus on Phantom Force. So yeah, Morty is like the de facto ghost sync nuke at the moment. For a strike, you just smack everyone. Until Giratina came along, at least. Like, Lunala hits hard, but it doesn't do enough for sync nuke damage. Morty does more. Now, Gengar. This was the most recent germable ghost unit, and this is super good, right? So, Tech. Hold Hostage 3. Toxic Power 3. Hostile Environment. So you restrain them through whatever means necessary. He can restrain, but that's through your max move. And Toxic Power. You get Sludge Bomb. So 60% chance to leave the target poisoned. You get Drain Punch. If you can crit with this and like do actually decent damage, sure. But personally, I wouldn't recommend it. And Shadow Ball. It is what it is. No Escape raises special attack and crit by 2 stacks, applies free move next to the user. So you get two free moves plus 4 special attack and max out your own crit rate. Sync move powers increase when target is restrained. You also get access to Brainy Rush, so that's 20%. Grappling Sync, so you apply restrain when sinking. You can also give yourself access to Super Prep. And use to sync move when the target is poisoned or battle poisoned. I forgot to tell Sly that. Holy shit. So yeah, a 50% buff, 20%, 50, but then another 50 from Ghost Zone. So you can see where he starts to hit hard. Now Dynamaxx, 480 BP, Gmax Terror, applies restrain to all opponents. So you can use this, get your super prep, sync nuke the middle. Max Knuckle, you can use this to max out someone's attack, like Giratina, for example. Or you can top off special attack with Max Ooze. So this is a very flexible pair. If you have someone else to apply restraint like the Decidueye, you don't need to use this on that, and you can use it instead on Max Knuckle or max out your own special attack with Max Ooze, whatever the team needs. So very flexible, decent modifiers. Drain Punch still throws me off, but Max Knuckle, so it's okay. I'm fine with it. So yeah, like Ghost, most accessible Ghost, does very well. If you get Alistair, you're cooking for Ghost. You just need the limited options. Good luck with that. I'm skipping you because I don't think you're worth mentioning in the slightest. So that was Ghost. So question: what's your favorite Ghost pair and why? I'm expecting a lot of Lunalas because you use them with Necrozma. Because for me, my favorite might actually have to go to Giratina. Why? Zones go burr. No other reason. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked or found this a little bit informative, drop a like and consider subscribing for more content. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.